Governors of the Northwest states have agreed to work together with development partners to find solutions to the huge challenges confronting the region, such as insecurity, poverty, and unemployment. Briefing journalists after two separate meetings with delegations from the United Nations and African Development Bank, the chairman of the Northwest Governors Forum and governor of Katsina State, Dikko Radda, also reiterated their support for President Bola Tinubu's ongoing economic reforms. In his address to the press following the meeting, Governor Radda hinted on the significance of the engagement with UN Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed, who specifically joined the forum. And in a move to strengthen regional coordination, the forum confirmed the appointment of Miss Miriam Musa Yahaya as its pioneer Director General. Joining us now on the show to discuss decisions taken at the forum is Governor of Katsina State, Dikko Umar Radda. Good morning, Your Excellency, and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning. Good to have you.
All right, sir. I'll just like you to take us through, or to talk us through about the outcome of the Northwest Governors Forum, especially key solutions reached.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you. And I also want to use this opportunity to reiterate the fact that the Northwest Governors Forum started not just yesterday. It started before our inauguration when we were elected as governors, because we consider it very important so that we can be able to put ourselves together, because we cannot go individuals, because we have been going individuals for a very long time since the history of Nigeria. And then there is need for us to put our heads together for 2 or 3 reasons. Northwest is almost a homogeneous society. We have so many things in common. We relate together. We are the same people. Only a border that will indicate that this is Katsina, this is Kaduna, this is Sokoto, this is Zamfara, this is Kebbi, this is Jigawa. So I think it is important for all of us to, at this level, put our heads together and address 3 major issues that affect the region. These 3 major issues include agricultural development, because our major focus of this, the major occupation of our region is agriculture, with about 90% of our population into agriculture or something related to agricultural value chain. And so it is important for us to harness that resources that we have and be able to produce more food and ensure food security in our region, and also ensure that agribusiness flourish in the region, because we have no reason to be poor. We have no reason not to be rich with the potentials we have. And then we equally agree that we need to look at holistically the economic development aspect of the region, bordering on all issues that has to do with ensuring industrialization in the region, ensuring that we have sink and then put more resources on education to ensure that we don't have out-of-school children, or we reduce them to the barest minimum, to ensure that we reduce the level of poverty by investing in agriculture, and also creating an enabling environment for our teeming youth to work together to ensure that they have work to do and provide the right atmosphere and enabling environment for MSMEs to develop. This region has the highest population in the country in terms of all the regions that we have. It has the big population, so we should utilize the population for the good of our people, not otherwise. And you are aware, the other issue that has been disturbing the region in the last 10 years is the issue of insecurity. This insecurity that occurs in the region, cutting across almost 5 states of the region, excluding Kano and Jigawa. So I think we need to holistically look at it and try to provide different strategies that we can address the issue, and also seek support from the federal government at the regional level, not at individual state level. Because when we approach the whole issue of security at that level, it will help us a lot in making sure that we have gone a long way in tackling or addressing the issues affecting us. Then I also speak about the collaborations, because we cannot do it alone. We need development partners to come in. Not that to bring money to us, but that one is not also, is not our major priority. The priority is the collaboration. We want to help to reduce the hours of school children. UN, what are your programs towards that? How do we invest in that? How do we harness that opportunity? How do we make sure that the money is being utilized? What are the strategy and plans that we need to put in place to ensure that we have reduced the out-of-school children, we have reduced the level of poverty? So the seeking of the collaboration is not only tied to seeking for money, but also in terms of technical support, capacity building, to allow our people the opportunity and also to have the necessary information, and then change of idea, movement of idea, and then interactions,
Mr.
movement of technology, and all of other things that can help us and then wherever there is funding, where we can flock, and what are the requirements we need to put in place to ensure that we get the necessary funding. And then I want to say to you that
Mr. Governor, Mr. Governor, we have to interject and ask more questions. Mr. Governor, please, we have to interject and ask more questions. Thank you so much. Dr. Bati?
Well, Governor, I get your point about saying, you know, you are seeking collaboration, you are partnering with people. How, in specific terms, are you collaborating with the federal government in terms of security, apart from looking for funding? And then tax reforms, which has been generating public uproar of recent. The Northern Governors Forum and the Nigerian Governors Forum recently gave their backing. What is the contribution of the Northwest Governors Forum on the issue of tax reform?
You know, I wouldn't want to say much about the tax reform, because the position of the Northern Governors is very clear on the tax reform, and it has been clearly spelled out. And then lastly, in the last few weeks, there was a meeting with the Presidential Tax Reform Committee and the Nigerian governors. And at that meeting, resolutions were reached and positions were taken. So the position of the Nigerian governors, the position of the Northern governors is my position, because I'm out of them. I'm one out of them. So I think that issue has been trashed. I don't need to discuss much about the tax regime, because we have discussed holistically in that direction. And on the issue of security and collaboration with the federal government, the first meeting we had after our inauguration, we visited Mr. President, and we told Mr. President that we need support in terms of tackling insecurity in the Northwest, as well as we need support in how to improve productivity in agriculture. And we are glad with Mr. President for establishment of livestock ministry, as well as the support he has been given to the Agricultural Ministry of Agriculture. And that collaboration between us will definitely enhance productivity. And it has clearly demonstrated that in the last farming season, we have witnessed an improvement in terms of cultivation of our lands. Our farmers, about 95% of our lands in Katsina State were cultivated and food was produced. And I'm happy to say that the food prices have drastically reduced. Last year, by this time, we were buying about a bag of maize about 100,000. Today, the bag of rice is 54,000 in Katsina State. So that has really helped. That becomes necessary because of the support we have given to the farmers. We have bought fertilizer enough to give to each community in my state. That has really helped in their production. We have provided improved seeds. That has really helped in their production. We have recruited more than about 800 more extension workers that help them to educate them, to provide the necessary education on the best farm practices. That has really helped. So I think in terms of security, the collaboration between the state government and the federal government was very strong. Even yesterday, there was a meeting between myself, the governor of Zamfara State, the NSA, and the Minister of Defense, in which we strategize on how to holistically look at the issue and then strategize so that we can address the issue. So I must say that we are happy with the kind of contribution and the support the president has been giving the subnationals in terms of addressing the security challenges in our country. And that has been very apt because of the kind of collaboration. Because if we are doing one thing different from what Zamfara is doing or from what Sokoto is doing, so that will make the fight against the banditry more difficult. But as we collaborate together, we are seeing results.
I would like to come in here. It's good for collaboration and all of that, but there are still substantial problems on ground we need to tackle. I'll give you this, and this is not me giving out the stats. These are people, some of your development partners, UNICEF and all of that speaking, And they're saying something. They're saying there are currently 10.2 million children at primary school level that are out of school in Nigeria. 16% of them are in Kano, Jigawa, and Katsina states. Close to 1 million are out of school in Kano, that's 989,000. A total of 337,000 in Jigawa, and Katsina State has 536,112 children out of school in the primary level. What are you doing about the lives of these 536,112 children that are out of school in the primary level in your states, Mr. Governor?
I'm quite sure that if this statistics or if this survey is reviewed, this figure must come down drastically, because when we came on board, we make sure that we invest heavily in education. If you look at our budget 2024 and the budget 2025, education has the highest budgetary allocation. And we are giving priority to that. We are creating more schools. We have recruited over 7,000 new teachers in the state at once. And then, as I speak to you today, we have built we are building 150 new junior and secondary schools, because those ones are they were paid from the primary schools, because we realize that the number of secondary school is not adequate for the number of people that are graduating from the primary school to the secondary school level. 75 of those schools were completed. 75 schools were ongoing as I speak to you today. Last year alone, if you have seen the press briefing that we have given last week by my deputy governor, Katsina State is invested in the year since when we started to the end of the year 2024, we invested about 120 billion naira in education in terms of training the teachers, improving on the infrastructure, building new schools, building more classrooms, enhancing the capacity, and also improving the welfare of the teachers. Because you cannot develop education when you don't have adequate people that can be able to teach those pupils in the school. So we have done a lot in the area of education, and we have created an agency called Bureau of Statistics in the state, so that we can get the true picture of what we have in our state. And as last year, we were able to do a baseline survey on education, the number of schools, the number of pupils that we have realistically in the state. We are able to do a baseline survey in our health institutions, number of patients, number of doctors, number of nurses, and number of health facilities that we have. We are able to do a baseline survey on farmers. We are able to do and get the real statistics, the locations, their farm sizes. We have done a lot, and we are doing a lot in that kind. We are engineering the process as a whole.
Governor, I would like to come in, you see, because I wanted to ask more questions. That statistics, you can go and check it. was released by, UNICEF, and the story just came out on the 24th of January. So maybe based on all you have done has not reflected. Secondly, you said you have a Bureau of Statistics in the state. Can you give me your own baseline statistics on the number of out-of-school children in your state based on your own statistics you have? Because UNICEF is saying it's over 500,000 as we wrap up.
I'm not sitting here to deny facts. I'm not sitting here to deny facts. I agree with you, there are out-of-school children. And there are a number of out-of-school children in the state. I'm not denying that fact. But what I'm saying, I'm denying the figures they roll out, because what I'm saying is that figures must have changed by now, because we have invested, and we are talking about a figure that was given last year. And I believe with what we have done in education, that figure must have reduced. So what I'm saying now is we are trying as much as we are. We are investing heavily. We are building more schools. We have recruited more teachers, and we are making every effort to support the infrastructure, teaching materials, also to be able to sensitize. In fact, Katsina State, we have created what we call community-level committees. We are using those community-level committees to encourage parents through the traditional institution, through the religious institution, to take their children to schools. And then you cannot encourage people to go to schools when you don't have adequate classrooms to take care of that number. So what we are doing as a government now is improving on the number of classes, improving on the number of teachers, improving on the number of infrastructure, and then the furniture in the house, in the schools, so that we can reduce the number. You cannot tell me that there are out of school in every state of Nigeria, but I believe that the number of out of school in the north is higher, and we came together to address that issue. We are not in denial of any of these facts. This is not something that we have created. This is something that was inherited over time, and this figure has been reducing over time. And I believe one day we will sit here, me and you, and discuss about few number of out-of-school children, not these thousands of numbers that you are calling.
Okay, Governor. There will be more than enough time, perhaps in the future, to discuss your state specifically. But, where our main focus is the meeting you had yesterday, the Northwest governors. But the economy is something that is very important. Now, is there any regional economic agenda agreed upon by the Northwest governors to tackle this issue of poverty in that part of the country?
The regional agenda in terms of economy in the Northwest is we have all agreed to invest heavily in agriculture and agricultural value chain, because that is our strength. Whatever you are going to do to help the local farmer or to help the local people in our states is to invest heavily in agriculture. We have the potentials. What we intend to do is to have all year round agricultural production in the states and in the northwestern states. All of us agreed to invest heavily in irrigation. All of us agreed to invest in agricultural production. All of us agreed to invest in provision of input, provision of more techniques on how to add, and also adopting smart agricultural system through the use of technology. So this is what we have agreed, and this is what we are working with the development partners, especially the African Development Bank. They are funding us on NAC 2.0, and that one is addressing the issue of irrigation facilities, livestock production, and all these things are the major focus of the Northwest governors, because we believe we only provide employment opportunity to our teeming population when we improve on agricultural production. We want to improve on employment, agriculture. If you want to improve on the income generation to the farmers and improving on the living standard of our farmers, improve on agriculture. So we are focusing on that. Second issue that we are focusing on, you cannot industrialize if you don't have power. All the northwestern states, we have agreed to develop independent power in our states. And by providing independent power in our state, we are providing a veritable ground in which industries will come, in which development will come. And because nobody is coming to set any industry if he doesn't have power. So we agree that, and we have potentials in terms of renewable energy, because we have abundant sunlight in which we can develop solar irrigation. As I speak to you now, we are able at different places in the state to develop about 5 megawatts of power generation, and we have an zone in which we want to develop 20 megawatts so that we allowed industries to come in and develop and then make the economy better and provide for our people. And this is what is common to all the Northwestern governors. We have agreed to do that.
Not, Governor.
So if we are able to do all those things within the limited time we have, I believe that we will improve on the economy, we will reduce the poverty, and we will reduce the out-of-school children, as well as provide a better ground for economic prosperity.
On that note, Governor Dikko, Radda, we would like to thank you very much for joining us on the morning show.